Yo, what's up, guys? Name's Desmond Dixon. Once again, welcome back to the AI Mentorship Podcast. And today I'm really going to break down something that I think is going to make or break your success. Because if you can make $1, you can make 1,000. If you can make 1,000, you can make 10,000. If you can make 10,000, you can make 100,000, and so on and so forth, right? Because all MRR is, or building a book of business is just a repeatable process of getting paid, right? And the central figure around getting paid is going to be around your offer, right? The model of your offer, because it's going to get people to feel comfortable coming into your business. And it's also going to maintain your expectations to deliver on the back end. And in the world of AI, I mean, there's just so much possibility to crush it here. And you have so much leverage to unwind. So I'm just going to break down real quick about how to do this well and how to crush it, okay? So when the business is new, the offer carries all of the credibility, okay? Buyers cannot lean on a famous brand, a long track record, or dozens of testimonials. Your offer must do the trust building itself, right? Like the offer needs to be good enough where someone's like, you know what, I'm down to give that a shot, or it feels de-risked, or it's very clear that it solves a very clear pain point, right? It needs to be something that's a no-brainer that people say, yes, I want that, right? When you're especially new, because once again, you have no testimonials, no track record, and all they have to go off the word is what you're offering them, right? So it can't be too good to be true, but it needs to be so dialed in that and so clear on the outcomes, and the risk is so reduced that it's a no-brainer for them to sign up with you, okay? Now, there's 4 customer patterns that show up again and again that I'm going to share with you, okay? And these are, very particular cases, right? I want you to think of when you're on the phone or a sales call with someone, or if you're in a process, you need to put them in a certain bucket, right? Because each type of bucket persona is going to require a certain type of communication style, and they're going to care about things, differently, right? The very first one is going to be the price sensitive person, right? They want everything for free. Right? They don't have a budget, right? But they want you to, work your butt off on their business without them investing in their business themselves. Or they just might be price sensitive, right? Like, I can do it myself, blase, blase. Those type of people are going to be very, very hard to sell to, even if it's for free or performance, right? And honestly, some of those customers might be the worst customers to work for, even if it is a great business and you have a great performance incentive. Usually I've never really seen very price sensitive customers turn out to be great customers, right? Even if you do a great job, they're always going to be looking at reducing their costs and cutting you out, right? The second type of customer you're going to come across are going to be what's called whales, okay? They want the best, right? And what's cool about whales is money. Yes, they don't want to be ripped off and they do care about price, but they care more about your competency to deliver what they're looking for. Like, they're trying to get a problem solved and they don't have a lot of time. So they're actually not talking to like a bajillion people. They're talking to a very short list of number of people, and they just want the best person that fits into what they're doing. And what's cool about whales are they can seem intimidating, but if they see you as an exceptional person, even if you don't have the track record, they can recognize talent, right? And they will be willing to bet on you. All right, some of my best customers, especially in the early days, when we were launching something new, they just seen that we're really talented, very clear, and we have the drive and the competency, and they just bet on us because they like to bet on talent. They're, when you reach that certain level, you can just recognize who's good and who's not, just about who they are and how they show up and how they present themselves, and even like their belief, right? Like, how much do they believe in themselves, right? So whales are fantastic people to sell to. And if you're going to sell to them, being authentic and being hungry is by far going to pay itself over and over again, because whales, once again, they get like the come up and they're going to want to pay you guys. Like, they're going to be like, yo, you guys do great work. I want to give you more money. They actually might overpay you. Like, they might give you more money than you asked for, especially if you do great work, because they believe in talent and retaining talent, and also betting on people that looked like them when they were coming up, right? So these types of people, you don't do anything crazy, guys. Like, this is like literally if you get someone on the phone that's a whale, it's like your deal to lose. So like, don't high pressure sell or pretend to be someone you're not. Like, they can see through that stuff. Just be as authentic as possible and just like offer to get them their outcome, pitch what you do. And if they really like you, they'll negotiate with you, right? Like, hey, let's do this instead, right? Like, so just pitch your best offer and then let them come to you, because they will, and they say, hey, I want to do this instead. Let's negotiate. And that's a really good sign. When they want to negotiate, that means they want to do business with you. It's just a matter of how we're going to do business, right? Great buy signal, okay? The next type of customer pattern or archetype are going to be the revolving door people, right? And you're going to get these people, and you might really believe that you can help them, but these are the people that try many vendors, right? So they're literally like hiring a new person every month or every quarter, and they always have the same problem, and it's not them, it's always the person that they work with, and that's fine, right? With these types of people, I would say there's a 50-50 chance that you're also going to be off the end of the door, or you might be their magic bullet, right? And so for these people, I would just be obsessed with getting them their outcomes and isolating and getting really clear in your discovery process about everything that they tried and what are their real, like, you need to figure out, okay, what is your line in the sand when dealing with this type of vendor? Is it, a creative constraints? Like, what constraints are we working with here? That, like, because we might need to do something out of the box to get the outcome that they're looking for, right? And so if they tried X, Y, Z, none of those worked, but they're not willing to do 1, 2, 3, then you need to really have a really honest conversation about why they don't want to do 1, 2, 3. And if they're open to the possibility to at least trying 1, 2, 3 so that their situation changes, or it's going to be the same revolving door, right? And so now it's just a conversation around capabilities and constraints, right? So we're revolving door people, right? So you have to break the pattern, right? So when you get someone with a revolving door, there's obviously a pattern that you need to break before you do business with them. And at the same time, you need to do this with all customers, but you really do need to be obsessed with getting them results, right? You need to feel that. So customer service, so not leaving them high and dry, communicating effectively, right? And so breaking the pattern, that's how you win those kind of guys. You need to get them to agree to break the pattern, right? To have a shot at getting them results. Now, the fourth kind of customer are going to be the resourceful kind. They really can't afford it, or they're stretched thin. And this is at all levels, guys. I met entrepreneurs that were absolutely crushing it in life, like, and look like on the surface they're making a lot of money revenue-wise, but their business is bleeding money, right? Like, they're bleeding money. Like, they have to like arbitrage cash, take on debt here. Like, they're doing a lot of like financial engineering in the back end to keep their business alive, but they're resourceful and they'll find a way to pay you. And they usually also have great systems and great team members. And all you need to do is just do what you're really good at and just like try to over deliver, right? These types of people can be really great upside bets, because if you can help them out of a really bad situation, they're going to tell all their friends about you. They're going to give you more opportunities in other businesses they do. You're in their Rolodex for life, in their like circle, right, of vendors, of partners, right? These are people that might become business partners 5 or 10 years down the line, or even the same year, right? So these, in my opinion, are some of the best types of customers who can't really afford it, but they make a lot of money and they're just in a really bad situation that you can help them out of. Now, there's another type of resourceful person where they don't have social proof yet. They have, they're a startup pretty much, but they have the money, but their business is making nothing. And they're willing to invest their own money into the business to, get it off the ground. And so when you're dealing with a startup business, either that person is going to be price sensitive and think every dollar they invest in their business, they're burning, or you're going to have someone that's in a resourceful mindset of like, all right, I know I'm making $3,000 a month in this business, and I know it could be a $3 million a month business, but I know I need to do X, Y, Z to get there, and I know I need to invest in my business. And so I'm going to find the money either through debt on a credit card or loan or mortgage or whatever, who knows their financial situation, or they're going to dip into their savings of their own money to pay for this thing, right? Rather than a person that's living in fear and like, I just want the cheapest thing and I want to hire, the cheapest things because I'm uncertain of myself, right? And those are usually more price sensitive people, right? So you need to be distinguished. And for the price sensitive people, guys, you either need to I hate to say don't be rude, but you need to be as blunt as freaking possible with them and say, hey, look, I don't want to give you too much game here, but you really want to not smack them in the face, but you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time here. Right? So they're always complaining about vendors and they got burnt before in the past, and I heard stories about this. It's like, hey, why are we here on the phone? They need to sell you on why they need to work with you. People that are price sensitive, because if not, you're just going to waste your time, and you should be really focusing on these types of people here, because they're way more likely not only to buy from you today, but to be great customers that can expand into larger lifetime values, either through referrals or expanded revenue, right? Price sensitive people are going to be very hard to upsell, very hard to cross sell, very hard to retain, right? Because they're in a doom loop in their brain, right? Of everyone's trying to steal from me, and they're not even focused on their business, right? Of actually getting a result, right? Or even their personal life. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Now let's match the deal to the customer's behavior. Okay. So once again, price sensitive, set firm scope, well, people lead with outcomes, right? Revolving door, define shared responsibilities and exit conditions before work begins. And once again, you really need to get clear on the pattern that needs to be broken. Okay. You need to break the pattern, right? Resourceful, but cash constrained. Lower front-end risk, let objective milestones unlock the next pricing. Once again, the resourceful people are the best kind of clients because they also have the drive to get things done. And you really need a great client partner to not only get your business off the ground, but to sustain momentum and compound. Okay, super, super important. So look out for these people and try to attract resourceful people, right? So let's talk about the 3 offer models that create very different businesses, okay? So the first one is going to be do-it-yourself, low ticket. The next one is going to be done with you, well-priced, easy to say yes to. And the third one is going to be a more done for you, higher ticket kind of offer. Okay. I think when you're first starting out, stay away from low ticket, do-it-yourself. Now you can have a low ticket tripwire or first step into the process, but don't let your main offer, the thing that's going to pay your bills, grow your business, is the main thesis of your company. Don't let it be do-it-yourself, guys. Unless you're coding with zeros and ones and you're just driving traffic to something that converts, and you're not physically talking to someone to sell them, and you're not physically talking to someone to maintain and project manage, right? So if it's completely codes, zeros and ones, great. Courses, I think in the age of AI, that's just a dying thing. Communities could be the only one that I see this working really. Once again, you're doing one to many, but I also think communities are great once you already have an established brand, maybe established distribution network. So you're using YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn or something like that. And then you're just simply funneling in your top of the funnel into a group, and maybe that's a tripwire group for $7 or $20, whatever. That's fine, but it isn't your main offer. Your main offer is going to be something where they're in that group, and then you upsell them into, a coaching program, a service, a venture deal, whatever that is. It's some type of main offer that's going to be a lot of the economic value. Okay. So I think a done with you is usually some of the easiest ways to start, where there's shared responsibility, and usually you can sign multiple people with done with you, and you can have the price be priced to where it's like a rounding error on the profit and loss statement for the client. And if you get 3 to 5 done with yous, that's a really great balance to have a really great life, right? So let's just say you're charging $1,000 a month. 3 to 5K is a really good solid foundation to build out an agency, right? To build out your systems, your SOPs, to get your case studies, right? Because obviously you're going to want to keep, get more clients, charge more money and things like that. So it's a really good way to break in, right? To get the cash flow coming in, right? Done for you, you can do done for you, but it needs a lot of operational capacity, guys, right? You really need to have systems, people, contractors into place, deadlines. Like it's medium easy to sell because everyone wants something done for you, but you also need to charge enough where you can pay great people to do the fulfillment. Once again, you need to hire great people to do the fulfillment, even if you're using AI, and you still need to make a profit so that you pay yourself. And then you also need to sign many people for done for you so that the economics work out. You can't sign 3 done for you clients a month, right? You need more. You need more like 5 to 10, right? On the low end, done for you clients for it to even like break even or pencil out somewhat, right? So if you can get 20 to 50 clients done for you, now you have a real legit business that runs itself, and now you kind of remove yourself from the business, right? But now to start, I think the first few clients done with you is like you get in, you deliver, you figure out what, and you find things that they're really good at, what they suck at, and now you're expanding, and now you're creating a done for you offer based upon gaps that you're seeing with your done with you, right? If that makes sense, right? So, all right. So the best launch default is usually done with you. Once again, it gives you enough proximity to create a result and enough leverage to build a life, not just another job, right? So proof. Work closely enough to the customer to capture a clear case study, right? You need the proof. The sales, the buyer gets support without paying for a fully outsourced team, right? So you can charge $1,000 to do a fractional role, to be their fractional consultant or something like that. And they're getting like a $5,000 a month employee productivity, but they're only paying $1,000. So there's clear arbitrage in value, right? So it's easy to say yes to. You could stack these contracts, right? And then from an operations perspective, you serve a small roster before adding payroll and management overhead, right? So you build a nice little foundation, right? You build your case studies, and then now you start to layer on more services, and now you maybe create a more high ticket offer on the done for you side. And now maybe you're charging $3,000 a month to do done for you completely, and $1,000 a month to be a fractional consultant or operator. Okay. So once again, like your goals change as the offers matures. Okay. So the first step is validation. You need one clear result, like a really great case study, because that case study is going to help you with your marketing. And then you need to build repeatable systems. So document everything. Obviously in the world of AI, it should be super easy to document. And then you expand. So you look for signals in your customer book to increase margin, right? To raise your prices, to deliver more value with more line item services or SKUs, right? Now, my favorite offer to close on your first deals, and this is something I did, especially when I was doing my consulting back in the day, is the first 3 months, do $777 a month. You hit a milestone, let's say for the first 3 months, and then if you hit that milestone for whatever you guys are trying to do, it bumps to $1,500 a month, right? Usually that conversion is usually about 50%, right? So you're bringing in cash flow, and then you automatically expand that month, and you're just stacking these contracts, and then you can actually build out a team in the whole shebang, right? So once again, my favorite is $777 a month for 3 months, and then it automatically goes to $1,500 a month once we hit an agreed upon milestone. Favorite close, the close rate on that was like 66%, right? So if you get someone on the phone, it's easy to say yes to, right? Super easy to say yes to. And this was a fractional role. So hey, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna give you 5 hours a month, right? And I'm gonna deliver X, Y, Z, and I'm gonna help you get this milestone. Keyword is people are paying for the milestone. They don't care if you work 40 hours or 100 hours or 1 hour. They want to hit a milestone. So you define your scope of work of, hey, here's all my inputs I need to do this. And I'm going to do this over the next 3 months. And then I'm going to hit these milestones. And then once I hit these milestones in 3 months, you're going to pay me this every single month. And you can even add on another little bonus of like, hey, in 1 year, I want to get paid 20 grand or 10 grand or whatever, right? So you can just start doing these milestone payments to expand your margin and align incentives to hit goals, right? Favorite close of all time. I probably will use that at some point again because it's a super easy offer to say yes to anybody, right? You want to build your offer before you build the machine. So like, don't go out there and like build all the fulfillment work, like, all your forms and, all the things you're going to use to fulfill. Like build the offer first and then sell it. Right? And then let the market vote on, do you build a system to fulfill that? Right? Every time, dude. Even when you do find your first offer, you do get off the ground and say you're getting to 30 to 50K a month, you're going to be creating more offers. And so this is a constant process, guys. Like, it's not going to be oh, I'm going to do it once. No, it's like how you're going to run your agency. When a new technology or new demand from the market, you're going to offer it first to figure out your offer, then build the machine based upon that offer, right? So super, super clear. Now, to define this offer, just to help you guys here before we wrap up, here's the 4 questions to ask yourself, okay? Who is this for? What results will you prove? What can you deliver together in 90 days? And what milestones earn you the next price? Super simple, guys. If you can clearly define all 4 of those things, you now have the foundation to make an offer. Awesome. If you made it this far, I want to appreciate it for making it at the end of the episode. And let me know what questions you have. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm just here to provide value. I want more people living this life. Once again, I live in Brazil. I spent some time in Japan, Europe, obviously Thailand and Bali and all that kind of good stuff. And I've been living abroad for over 5 years. And I've been blessed to be able to work online and build businesses online and live the life that I've chosen to create for myself. And I want more people to live this life. And so I want to give you guys as much valuable information as I can to help more people build an awesome community of people crushing it, making money online, living life the way they want. And you don't need to make $1 million, guys. You just need to focus on giving value to others, and you will just naturally make money. That's how capitalism works, and that's what I want to support you guys to do. So drop some questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see you at the next episode. Peace.